And today I'm going to be giving you a very easy to follow, very early game tutorial for new players playing Italy, how to destroy Ethiopia quickly. You should be able to replicate this. It's nothing complicated, no cheats. Just a very simple run. Select your army, you can put them on an army. I like separating the northern, well actually you should separate the northern and southern armies. Immediately assign some generals. Save your best general for some of your tanks. These are going to be your Italian and and Libyan divisions. For focuses, I mean, you have a few options. You could go for army privacy and immediately start that, but I prefer starting on industry before you get the success in Ethiopia. You can ignore all this for now. Missing equipment, let me guess, planes, yup. Ships, only finish building out the ones that are close. The ones that are not even close to being finished, don't bother, but as long as they say one, even if they're just like halfway done, I would argue it's still worth it. And after that, you can start making subs, start making convoys. If you don't know how the Navy works, I would suggest making convoys. If you have some understanding of it, subs are probably your best idea, so that you can convoy raid the British once the war starts. I'm going to ignore air for now until we can get some better planes out. Ignore tanks for now, make some trucks, make some support equipment, infantry equipment, and of course some towed artillery. We are lacking already, and we are going to need a lot of that. We should also start making some trains. I almost forgot about that. But just putting a tiny bit of production onto trains will go a very long way later on when you start running out. I also like doing industry focuses first. These three are my immediates as soon as I start any game. And if you have an extra slot, I normally go for support weapons. Basically, if you're playing a major, ignore the fighter stuff, that won't be an issue soon enough. And start building industry in all tiles with 80%. Just max it out. You'll get more building slots later on when you do either concentrated or dispersed industry. Then using your army, just split it up. I prefer separating out the tanks. And, well, this is just with any country. Separate out your tanks, your trucks, maybe even your cavalry or mountaineers if you want to have some more specialized armies. I'm going to separate out my mountaineers because I want to have them specifically in the north where there are actual mountains to push into. But that is just a little bit of extra advice if you want to do that. My tanks, I'm actually going to send... since I have mountaineers in the north, I'm going to send them to the south where it's flatter terrain, even if it is desert, to quickly push up and link with the northern front. Meanwhile, half of these guys can go over here, the other half over here. One more of you guys. You can go right there. Then we're gonna be assigning some field marshals, which are gonna make these divisions work even better. Really does not matter which ones you do. This is all very basic setup. Tell these guys, go in the north. You can micromanage this. I'm gonna be doing very little micromanaging because this is supposed to be very easy to replicate. To the point where if this is your first time playing, you should be able to do this just by watching where my mouse is going. We are at war with Ethiopia. Soon enough, an event will come up to annexation, so ignore them for now. Go max speed, or even a little less than max speed, and press play. Up, I almost forgot. Make sure to set all of these guys to high priority. And since we are going to be making trucks, any special forces which you have, you can set onto motorization, because we are going to be building some of those. Then tell everyone to go. If you see any gaps in the front line, make sure to make use of them because the initial breakthroughs are going to be by far the hardest. Make sure no troops are just sitting there or moving around. Oh, and I almost forgot to talk about Air Force. Select them all and get them all going over here to northern Ethiopia. You'll send some of them down south. We could send these guys down south because they're already closer. And there should be just enough space in the north to fit them all. Maybe slightly too little. We can deal with that in a minute. And for Navy, you can ignore it for now. I would suggest making yourself some submarine fleets for convoy raiding and separate out a main battle fleet for your actual fighting, mainly in the Mediterranean Sea. If you want to naval invade Malta, etc. But for now, you can ignore that. Ethiopia doesn't even have a coastline, so that's an important. Make sure you put the submarine guy for the submarines. You can join them. You can do some cheesier strats. That is unimportant in this war because Ethiopia simply does not have an air force to use. I mean, a navy. Why bother fighting them in... Oh, and we broke through. This breakthrough is not an important one. It won't lead to much more. Attack bonus. Take the attack bonus. It will help you with breakthroughs a lot. Now with our airplanes in place, close air support, you can bomb it if you really want to. Some strategic bombing. But I far prefer just spreading them out, something like that. Tell these guys to go like that. Maybe a few of you guys, you two. Up, am I just blind? To go right there. We now have full air, and we're going to be getting some cast bonuses in all of our fights for the soon future. We also see the rest of our army starting to come in. And this can take a little bit longer, a little bit less time, depending on how lucky you are. Sometimes Ethiopia will just be stupid, move their entire army out for absolutely no reason, and give you a free win. But either way, I mean, just tell your troops to go. I'm going to be telling them to attack a bit faster because I'm not very patient. And as soon as this breakthrough is made, you will have to micromanage a bit, because normally at least one of these tiles won't have any divisions, and your troops will not walk in because they're just a little stupid. So you can tell half of them to go there, half of them to go there as soon as they stop attacking me, right there, and whoever else comes to attack down south. These breakthroughs, southern attacks are struggling, sadly. Sometimes they do better, sometimes they do worse. As long as you're keeping an eye on it, eventually it will work. I'm gonna go for the mills, but you could go civs, focuses, it could vary. Also, you guys, don't waste your time going back up there. I need you to keep pushing. We will not stop, and soon enough we'll get so we can even set it to max speed, really. It does not matter. You two can go down there. You keep on pushing down south. Oh my god, breakthrough in the south. I missed it. I should not have missed it. We want to keep this going. Keep this going. Keep it pushing. Do not let the assault stop. Do not give them time to get back. Do not give them time to do anything. Success in northern Ethiopia. Nice bonus. They get less war support, which is the main bonus. If you can, try and encircle them up here in the north. Meanwhile, your forces should still be having quite an easy time pushing around. Normally, they don't have a lot of troops over here in the west. Success in the south. Perfect. And now we have solid progress. Don't stop doing this focus. You already invested time into it, so you might as well finish it off. Yeah, always send them the ultimatum. It will be a major help. Good. We have these two units. Just add them to an army. I'll probably add them to this army. And then edit your things so that it goes out like that. And tell these guys to immediately walk into Dawa. It is a supply hub. It is very important. And it will also allow us to link on this side. Now you just have to look for gaps and wait. There's really not much else to do. If you want, now that all of your armies are combined, you can set up one joint offensive with all of your armies in one. I just like doing that. It's cleaner. At the end of this war, you will reorganize your army. But for now, you can just tell everyone to go. Take off your planes from these northern tiles over here, send them down south. Take off your planes from the southern tiles, send them up north, just like that. Concentrate your planes over Addis Ababa, and Ethiopia will capitulate. If you do this fast enough, then you will be able to annex them, rather than having to occupy them, which means later on they'll join the Allies. And it's a minor hassle, really. But it is nicer if you can just end it off now, put some more into infantry equipment, send your army back over to Italy. You can reorganize it how you want, maybe design some new tanks, etc. Your navy's organized. Your air force is bad, but if you ship them back to Italy, consolidate them into fighter groups of 100s. I just do that so that it's easier to manage, it's easier to take control of. Just some other quick tips for research. Once these things are done, you don't really have to rush anything, but I would suggest if you're going for Air Force, then definitely go concentrated. But for most countries, if you're not going Air Force, dispersed is very useful. The Allies will bomb you if you do not do that or have an Air Force. I would also suggest getting some anti-air if you don't have an Air Force. Just some very basic tips. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Killing Ethiopia, very fun. Italy, maybe not the best starting nation, but easier than Germany because they normally carry the war. And I'll see y'all next time. Bye.